What's up? My name is Byron Morrison. I'm 23 years old. We're over here at Rok10 Studios in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
What is Rok10?
So Rok10 is a studio. We do recording, mixing, mastering. We also make a lot of pre-production. We DJ, do a lot of different things in the audio world.
Tell me what some of the jobs are that you do.
I mentioned recording. We work with a variety of different acts, a lot of hip hop, singer-songwriters, small bands. So we'll come in, record, set them up, do a couple tracks, head into the mix, get that all together, and then that project will be done. As for pre-production, it's mostly just me sitting in here those long nights, those long hours, making beats, mixing that up, sending that out, trying to figure out videos for that kind of stuff. And DJing is just getting gigs, going out doing private parties, parties, clubs, all that kind of shit.
So tell me, man, where did the idea of Rok10 come from?
So Rok10 officially was created in like 2011, the summer of 2011. I was a junior in high school. I just started getting into DJing a little bit more. I had a background in music, and throwing gigs and promoting parties just seemed like a natural way to actually start making some money. So I started DJing, linked up with this guy named Klein. We started Rok10 together, and we were just DJing, did some stuff over at the Brunswick, did some stuff down in Philly, and that's really where Rok10 started, was for live performances.
When did you start DJing?
So I started DJing, I guess to take it back to being in a band. I always wanted to be in a band. I always wanted to make music. I always wanted to play live on stage. I'd say probably around 2008, 2009. I was in a hardcore metal band, and I really didn't know what I was doing. I would just kind of pick up little things here and there. So yeah, I really got into music doing that kind of stuff. And then, as I mentioned, the DJing started, and that took off real fast, way faster than I thought it would. And then it gave me a lot of capital to, reach out and start doing my own stuff. So yeah, it started with heavy metal, and full circle, now we're back in the building where I've recorded my first album with that band, with my own studio. So kind of crazy.
So were you thinking business at that point?
To get into the money aspect of it, when we were in the band, we weren't getting paid to play at all. We did the Chameleon, which was like a dream of mine at the time. So we started making merch. I actually still have the t-shirt. We did two different lines of our own t-shirts, and we got in touch with a local screen printing company, did all that stuff. And this was when we were like 13, 14. The oldest guy in the band, I believe, was 16 or 17. I made a couple $100 from that, and that was cool. But with the band, there was really never like a whole lot of direct money related to it. But with the DJing, that was when it started to be like, all right, I can save up this amount of money from working and doing this kind of stuff, and rent out a venue, and then charge a ticket price, and then make my money back.
So briefly explain to me your first real yes moment with music. And by yes moment, I mean that first moment that you were like, I can do this.
I was 16. I rented out a golf. I don't know how to describe it to this day. It was like at a golf course. They had I don't want to say rec center there, but like a space. I rented that out, sold that out. Actually, it sold so many tickets that the police came. They thought it was gonna be like a riot and shit. I wish I started the Facebook page. It was incredible. But I made like $4,000 or $5,000 in one night at 16 years old, which at 16 years old, $100 is a ton of money. I had a couple of $1,000.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit, I can actually do something with this, And so, that was the first time that I felt like extremely validated in it. That like not only was I having a good time, and I would before then I would DJ like small house parties and all that kind of stuff, and everybody was grooving with it. But at that moment, I realized like, whoa, I could actually make some money with this.
So then after that moment, what did you do? Like, how did you start approaching music?
After that moment, my entire perception changed on like what was actually possible. It went from just being, hey, I'm gonna make some music and stuff, to wow, I can actually profit off of this, and then someday, maybe have my own studio. I started planning out things. I'd come up with like a year plan or like a couple months plan. And like, I was never super into video games, but I always thought of it as like an RPG. Like if you want to get like the crown, well, you gotta like collect the horse or some shit first, So I'd plan it all out. Like someday I want to play my own music live in a DJ set. How do I do that? Well, I need to make my own music. So like, how do I do that? And that's what ended up me getting into recording, which really opened all the doors to where I am now.
That's incredible, man. So really just making a plan.
Incredibly organized plan making. Write it all out. I would record myself, a spur of the moment, have an idea, record that, write it down later. Like draw out like plans, like year plans. Like by this date I want to have this. By this date I want to have this. By this date I want to have achieved this and have this like in the mix, you know.
That's awesome. That's great advice for anyone that's trying to start a business and just get their life together. How do you hold yourself accountable while doing that? What are you doing on a daily basis to like track that, keep moving with those goals?
So it's mostly just intensely, I'm extremely hard on myself, you know, which is a good thing and it's a bad thing. But if I put myself towards something, I'm gonna be the one that beats myself up if I don't, you know, achieve that. It's like playing golf. You want to beat everybody else, but you're really just playing against yourself.
And over time, from when you started, how much has changed up until now in 2017?
Yeah, I mean, obviously things have definitely, I shouldn't say obviously, some people don't change, but definitely a lot has changed. Even just the market, like outside of me, everything has changed and everything is constantly changing and new trends are happening and all that. But just with myself, I've completely torn apart my entire perception of what I thought I was doing multiple times and like rebuilt it and changed it around so I could adapt to different projects and different things. Because like running all this by myself, I wear a lot of hats, you know. Yeah.
What's on the horizon for Rok10? What can we expect in 2018?
We're doing a podcast. It's going to be a 10-part series. I'm thinking that's going to be like the first season. We're going to be releasing one episode a week sometime in January. I'll have all the social media stuff out when we actually get it done. But it's a podcast that's just really getting to know people. But it's randomly selected people. I ask them a series of questions starting from your basic stuff, getting way more personal and way more out there as it goes on, and it's just trying to shed light on, you know, the person you're sitting next to in traffic, you know, especially now in this time in the country, like people are, you know, not like super getting along, you know, and it's like I just want everyone to remember, and even just for myself to remember that like everybody's a person, you know, everybody's scared of something, everybody's looking forward to something, everybody's stoked for something, everybody's, you know, they're just people. That'll be dropping 2018. I got a bunch of different audio projects going on right now. New beats coming out all the time. I got an EP that I'm gonna be putting out sometime soon, probably also 2018. It's kind of like ambient electronic stuff. There's a couple house club music on there.
Hey.
It's gonna be called Breakfast with Strangers. What else we got
music
going?
With Willow Kid too.
Hell yeah, we got some music with Willow Kid. We got the Cypher with Willow Kid, Choreo, and Hulk or Chase. I don't know his actual rap.
What does he go by? Chase, what do you go by? Tell us what you go by, Chase.
Chase. But that'll be good. We got a video coming for that too. I got a DJ gig coming up in a couple weeks. Should be cool. Little
live
rager.
Performances maybe?
Yeah, we got possibly some. We got a lot of stuff in the works.
Tell me what it's like in one sentence. This is what we're speaking about outside. Tell me what it's like in one sentence to be an entrepreneur.
It's the wave. You gotta ride the wave.
Yeah, like, please elaborate.
It's not, look at the wave. It's not always up, it's not always down. It's never really in the middle though. If it's in the middle, you're stagnant, you're not doing anything. You gotta be either making risks and fucking up or going up, right? So you're riding the wave. When you're down, you're down, but it will go up again. When you're up, like hopefully it's not gonna go down again, but most likely like it will. You know, I've had times where everything's super good here and everything's horrible here, and like it's, you know, it's constantly the wave, right? So when you're on the wave, I know it's a little bit more than a sentence, I'm sorry, but it's a good analogy.
I wanted you to elaborate, man.
When you're up, you want to ride that so say you start down here, right? This is like origin of Rok10. We're down here, we go up, we ride that wave up, right? And then we're here. And then when it's worse, it's not that bad. And then you go up more, and then you're riding that wave. So what I'm basically just saying is like, ride your highs. So when you do dip down low again, it won't be as low as you were before. So the wave, it's like the mantra of this studio.
Tell me some of the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. Start with the pros.
Pros, freedom, you know, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. It's, there's a lot of pride that comes with it, not to be so like, you know, in my ego about it, but I'm very proud of everything that I've achieved. It makes me feel good. And just literally to be able to make money and do something that you love is, it's the dream for everybody, you know? I mean, that kind of encompasses like so many things.
You pretty much summed it all up. Tell me the cons, man.
Cons, kind of going with freedom again. When you're at like a 9 to 5 or you're working somewhere else, like you know when you have to be there and you know when you leave. And here, like kind of talking about the balance earlier about trying to find when to leave. No one's telling me when to leave. Mostly, it's not when to come in. You know, I love coming here, so I come here. But I've definitely like ruined relationships and messed up friendships and stuff from literally just being like, I can't leave. You know, I gotta work on this. But I know that like things come around and it works out. But definitely a lot of sacrifices, personal time and personal relationships have been made in the pursuit of all of this shit. But it's worth it, in my opinion. You know, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't.
Next question. What do you do on a daily basis to grow personally as well as professionally?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I just try to learn as much as I can about music stuff, about stuff that's going on in the world. I just say constantly taking in as much information as I possibly can on a daily basis. Whether it's reading, whether it's listening, whether it's talking to people, whether it's meeting new interesting people, which this podcast has given me an opportunity to go out of my comfort zone a little bit and meet some people that are completely unrelated to the music world, but have a lot to say about life and whatnot.
Tell me about some of them podcasts, some of them books.
I use TuneIn and I also use the app for iTunes. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History is number 2 on the iTunes charts right now. You should definitely check that out.
Dan Carlin's with a C or a K?
With a C. It's, if you're into history at all, it's incredibly interesting. His first season, I believe, was on Genghis Khan. Really went into like the Mongol Empire and like all that stuff. It's incredibly long, and each episode's like 3 hours long. Right now they're talking about ancient Greek society and all that kind of jazz. But let me give you a quick rundown. I listen to the Joe Rogan Experience for comedy and for like weird insight on a variety of different subjects. I listen to a bunch of other comedy podcasts just for like, I enjoy to laugh. Radiolab is one of my favorites, if not my favorite podcast. They talk to a bunch of really interesting people, and the production on that podcast is out of this world. I listen to that. The Tim Ferriss Show. You're familiar with Tim Ferriss? So much interesting people and so many interesting conversations on there. Ari Shaffir's Skeptic Tank is really good. It's like one topic for an hour or whatever with whoever. There's a bunch on here, but like How Did This Get Made? The Duncan Trussell Family Hour, the Cracked Podcast. Song Exploder is really cool. They like deconstruct music. Tap Tempo with Matt Lang. I just started listening to that one. Shout out to Matt Lang. Helped me out with a whole bunch of fucking interesting stuff. His podcast is incredibly technical for music production. I fuck with like Gary Vee like super hard.
Yes.
And like Ty Lopez has got some interesting stuff to say too. Book-wise, read by Tim Ferriss.
4-Hour Workweek, Tools of Titans.
Tools of Titans. I listened to that on audiobook. That was really good. Yeah, on audiobook, speed it up a little bit and you can listen to it faster.
1.25?
Yeah. I just started The War of Art. Like, that famous book, The Art of War, by like Tung Tzu or something like that.
By Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu, yeah. It's called The War of Art, and it's just about like distractions and like a bunch of shit.
I know a little bit about distractions.
Hell yeah.
What would you consider to be your motto, or some words to live by?
The first thing that comes to my mind is like always be creative. Try to do things you've never seen before. Go out of your comfort zone. Make music that you want to hear. Laugh every day. Smile as much as you can, smiling as much as I can, I think is the big thing, whether it's work related or personal related. If I can laugh, at least a good belly laugh once a day, I don't really give a shit about anything else. Like, the business, personal life, all that. If I can find myself being happy and making other people laugh and making myself laugh, just having a good old time, no matter where I am, I'd say that's a good one.
What would you tell a young entrepreneur or someone who was starting their own business? Any words of advice?
Get ready for chaos. Yeah, seriously, like, get ready for chaos. It's a lot, man. It's so fun, though. I live for this shit. Get ready to put on a bunch of different hats. Get ready to learn your ass off. Get ready to try and fail and try again and win and win and win and win and win as much as you can, and just get ready for chaos, man. It's crazy. Depending on whatever you're doing, if you start your own company, it's going to be a lot. And it's going to be awesome. So, what's up? I'm Byron Morrison. We're here at Rok10 Productions, and you are watching EntrepreneurSHIT.
Hell yeah, bro. That's a wrap, bro.